1 2 1 2. Welcome to your Blood Red podcast. 1 2 1 2. One two one two. Welcome to the Blood Red YouTube channel. 1 2 1 2. Hello and welcome to the Blood Red YouTube channel. I am your host today, Ryan Paton. I am delighted to be joined by Theo Squires. We're going to get into the Champions League draw today, but first, it's just a word from our sponsors, NordVPN. To get the best discount off your NordVPN plan, go to nordvpn.com/bloodred. Our link will also give you 4 extra months on the 2-year plan. There's no risk with Nord's 30-day money-back guarantee. The link is in the podcast episode description box. As always, we are on board with Nord. So Theo, today we're getting into it is the Champions League draw. It's a revamped format this season. It's slightly confusing. I've been trying to for the preparation for the show today, I've been trying to get my head around just what it is about. But can you give us a bit of a brief sort of overlook of what your understanding of it is? A bit of a tough question to start with, I suppose.
Yeah, wish me luck. That's where every time we've done these in the past, I've always mocked UEFA going, why do we need the big explainers beforehand? But this is a year where we do need the big explainer.
I've read the explainers. I'm still not quite clear on what's happening.
We know it's an expanded group stage now. Yep. It's 36 teams rather than 32, and it's going to be one big league format. You've still got your pots, so pot 1, 2, 3, 4, but this time you can face teams from each pot. You playing 2 teams from each pot. So Liverpool have 8 group games, 4 at home, 4 away, 8 different opponents, and it will be 2 from each. So I'd imagine it's going to work like you play pot 1 team at home, pot 1 team away, same in pot 2, same in pot 3, same in pot 4. I'm a little bit confused what they're saying with where you can play English teams or not, because they seem to be saying you can't face teams from your same country, but in some cases that is unavoidable. And obviously with England, they've got 4 teams in it. I think Germany have got 5, Italy have got 5. Those are the countries where you could face someone from your home nation, but we'll just find out as we go along. It's going to be a learning experience for us.
And we're live as well, so it'll be interesting.
So wish us luck. We'll see. Like, we know who isn't in there. It's not going to be a case of them pulling the balls out and we're watching the draw unfold like that. Yeah. I think it's them bringing out each team manually, and then the 8 opponents are done by a computer. They push a button and it'll appear on the screen, and then you'll learn there and then the 8 teams you're going to face. But I'm not quite sure how that's going to unfold until we see it, because obviously if you're the first team out, the 8 teams there, no one's been drawn yet. But when you're the last team out, you're already going to know who some of them are. So I think we're going to need a pen and paper, or at least notepad out on the laptop, just so we can follow the games, because it's quite possible Liverpool know 1 or 2 of their games before they've been drawn themselves.
Absolutely. What's your thoughts on the format as a whole? Because I think there was a sort of an element of the previous Champions League group stage format becoming a little bit tired. There was obviously a lot of repeat games, repeat fixtures. Are you sort of optimistic that this could sort of revamp it in a positive way?
I suppose we'll see when it happens. It depends how this format goes. It's obviously been brought in partly in response to the failed European Super League. People want to see the best teams face each other, and they want these elite European games more. So the fact that you could have Liverpool, Real Madrid in the Champions League group stages, there's an excitement there. It makes it more of a glamour tie. But then it could equally become a bit tiresome. The fact that you're playing it every year. We'll just wait and see. It's going to be good for the competition when you have got all the better quality games there, and it makes it less of a procession, I suppose, because there is everything riding on it. You're not going to have a group of death, and then one of those groups where City have got all the easiest teams in the world, the through by fourth game, and they can just play all the kids in 5 and 6. But until we actually see it put into practice, is when you get a real feel of whether it works or not. Like we saw it with the League Cup last night, didn't we? That draw where, because of the expanded Champions League format, the League Cup, the European teams, they can't play on certain dates, and they've got to be in this pre-draw, which decided if they're home or not. We've seen a bit of backlash for that. It's only when you actually put it in front of you and you see how it works that you can go, yeah, I'm actually a fan of this or not. But yeah, if the fact that you can get Liverpool facing the bigger teams, it's always nice. But you usually like to play them later in the Champions League, don't you?
Because I suppose, well, until I was doing like the research before, this is probably the first time I've totally realised that you can be drawn against pot 1 teams as well. So it's like, what's almost like the benefit of being in pot 1? Because normally it was pot 1, you'd avoid other pot 1 teams, but now it seems as though like it's sort of it doesn't really matter.
Yeah, that's always been what I thought. It doesn't seem to matter, does it, at all?
Yeah, like if I was in pot 3, you're still playing 2 pot 1 teams. It doesn't really matter.
Yeah, like if you're just going to play 2 from everyone, I think they'd have made something in it so you could do, I don't know, if you're in group pot 1, you face 1 pot 1 team, you face 3 from pot 4. Maybe it works with home and away. I don't know.
Like,
I don't have an answer for you there. That's exactly what I've
well, if anyone watching has an answer, let us know in the comments, because me and Theo both nonplussed.
Yeah, like we are live, so get your questions in as well, or any explanations here. But we'll wait and see, because there is a logic to needing it to be in the pots, because then it decides who you can face. Like the fact that we know you can only face 2 from pot 1. It makes it a bit different because it decides who is in that pot. That's the one way. This is the only way I can see of it. Try to explain it, because it's done on the coefficients, isn't it?
Yes.
So Real Madrid, the Champions League holders, they go into pot 1, and the rest is the top 7 on the coefficients. So technically, you've got the toughest teams there, and I suppose if you're in pot 1, that's one less team you can face because you're there. I'm not sure if that makes it easier or not.
Like statistically, it does reduce your chance of playing Real Madrid, because you have not got 8 chances of playing Real Madrid. You've got 7 chances.
We'll see.
What do you think as well in terms of, obviously, I think one of the sort of the negatives of this Champions League format is it's bloating and already bloated format. I suppose it's going to be a few more games in already a congested fixture schedule. How do you think Liverpool are sort of going to cope with that?
I think it's probably one reason why Jurgen Klopp got off, wasn't it? He didn't want all these extra games, and it's something that he was regularly talking about, that there was too much put on the footballers, and we're seeing that next summer with the FIFA Club World Cup being expanded as well.
Yeah.
Like, this was the compromise, that there is only 2 extra games, because I think in original talks there was going to be even more there. So it's maybe the best of both worlds. Like, they're not playing every week, but it is still more, and it is going to be more restrained when you are facing tougher sides. You've also got to consider as well, you're not maybe going to get upsets. Like, I suppose when the last Champions League format came in, we're talking 03-04, you had Porto win it the first year, Liverpool won it the second year, but then when everyone got to terms with it, there weren't as many upsets. There was great quality football later on, but the big teams won. They came through. And in this format, it will be the top 8, they go through straight away to the round of 16. 9 to 24, they go through to the knockout round playoffs, and the bottom 8 are out of Europe altogether. There's no drop off into the Europa League.
Yeah.
So if you're doing it on coefficients and what you expect to happen, your top 8 will be the top 8.
Yeah.
Your 9 to 24 will be in the playoffs. It's just depending on who you get in the actual league phase and how tough your fixtures are will determine that. But it does seem to favour more the big sides progressing and dominate in the tournament. Like, we'll see it in practice if the teams can get more upsets, but when you've got more games for them to play, you've got more chance to bail yourself out. Like Liverpool, we've seen them lose to Red Star Belgrade, Napoli, PSG away from home in the Champions League, and need an incredible save from Alisson Becker at the last minute to just get through the group stages. Because there's more games, I think you've got more chance to get the points and get through, and even if you're not in that top 8, you've got the playoffs there, so it seems to protect those bigger teams.
It'd have to be quite a catastrophic group stage performance for Liverpool to finish in the bottom 8 of a league table format. And so I suppose another negative could be that it does remove that jeopardy of of the group stages, but I suppose there wasn't really that much jeopardy anyway, as it's normally.
Or maybe for Manchester United, because they seem to flirt with it every time. But Liverpool, it was pretty straightforward, the majority. There was a couple of times when it went to the last match, but I think 21-22, they won every game, didn't they?
Yeah.
Like they rotated. They were playing like Tyler Morton in the San Siro, and they still won. Max Waltman and that coming off the bench. Like, they were very strong, that team, and even though they've just had a year out of the Champions League, it's still a very strong squad. A bit different with a new manager and everything, but they are going to be one of the favourites. The fact that you can miss the Champions League for a year and you're still in the top 8 sides in it, it says a lot about what Liverpool have achieved in Europe under Jurgen Klopp, and they'll need to hopefully carry it on under Arne Slot. Yeah,
obviously, there's the chance to be drawn against Arne Slot's former sides. Is that correct?
Yes, because it's 2 sides from each thing. There are a few reunions you can get here. They can get Feyenoord. We're seeing Chiesa join from Juventus today. They could get Juventus. He could get a very quick return there. We'll go through the pots. We might as well now.
We might as well. We're live.
So, pot 1, Liverpool, Real Madrid, City, Bayern Munich, PSG, Inter, Borussia Dortmund, Barcelona, RB Leipzig. Obviously, Dortmund's not quite as glamorous as it would have been last year if this had come in. But there's some, obviously, massive names there, aren't there?
Yeah.
Pot 2, Bayer Leverkusen, so you could get Xavi Alonso, Atletico Madrid, Atalanta, Juventus, as I said, Chiesa, Benfica, could be a reunion for Darwin Núñez, Arsenal, Club Brugge, Shakhtar Donetsk, AC Milan. Pot 3, we've got Feyenoord, so reunion with Arne Slot. So Old Club, Sporting Lisbon, PSV Eindhoven, which could be Gakpo going back to his former club, Dynamo Zagreb, Red Bull Salzburg, Pep Linders, Bobby Clark, Stefan Bajcetic, who's about to go there on loan, Lille, Red Star Belgrade, Young Boys, Celtic, and that's Brendan Rodgers. Then pot 4, we got Slavan Bratislava, AS Monaco, Sparta Prague, Aston Villa, Bologna, Girona, Stuttgart, reunion for Wataru Endo, Sturm Graz, and Stade Brestois. Now, there's probably a lot more former clubs have come up there, and I've just plucked a few off the top of my head.
Yeah, it's quite inevitable some of these subplots are going to come to the fore,
isn't it?
Football's got it's got a way of bringing the more dramatic ones to the fore normally, isn't it? So I can sort of see maybe a Feyenoord reunion just to Arne Slot going there.
Like, if you're doing a gut feeling now, you're saying they're going to get Feyenoord, they're going to get Juventus, they're going to get Real Madrid.
The Enzo reunion at Stuttgart apparently not as glamorous as them other ones.
Quite, is it?
Not much of a story around that one. Is there any teams you're sort of hoping that Liverpool gets just to make sort of quite interesting matchups, I suppose?
It's difficult because you're just going to face 2 of them. Like before, you'd see you're going to face one team from pot 2. Okay, you'd look at it and you go, you want Club Brugge.
Yeah.
You don't want to be doing Shakhtar Donetsk away. It's completely different now because you can get Shakhtar Donetsk, but if that's your game at Anfield, you're quite happy with that, aren't you? It's different. The fact that you could play Real Madrid, you could be going to the Bernabeu. Barcelona, you could go to. They're not Camp Nou at the moment; they're at the Olympic Stadium, but you get the point. Obviously, any of those teams in pot 1, you'd rather have them at Anfield.
Yeah,
you're gonna have to play one of them away from home, but you want the biggest one if you get the biggest one at Anfield. And then the teams that are in pot 3 and pot 4, realistically, you feel confident about your abilities there. You're going to beat them at home. You're going to beat them away. You should be able to.
Yeah.
But there are some big names in pot 1, pot 2. So we'll just see how it all unfolds.
Yeah, because it's normally sort of if from like following Liverpool and stuff, that normally the storyline with Champions League games is that like it doesn't matter what happens away, but you can get them at Anfield and Liverpool have always got a chance. And obviously that's different this time round, I suppose, because at the group stage game. But like you said, the Liverpool is such a superior side just anywhere at the moment that you would fancy the chances against any of those lower sides, and then even the away legs. I think Liverpool will fancy the chances against anyone in this Champions League.
Yeah, there's no reason why not. Like, they've obviously started the season so well as well.
Yeah.
And when you've got the likes of Salah in great form after a summer off, there's no reason to feel negative about it at all. But it also falls into how it falls into your fixture list, because there are going to be a couple of nightmare runs in there.
Yeah.
Like, I think Liverpool have got, is it Arsenal, Chelsea or Man City? They've got a couple of those teams back to back, and that dates around a Champions League game. So if you put a Real Madrid away in the middle of that, it's going to take its toll.
Absolutely.
And then you're looking at all the politics of it as well, that Liverpool can get Real Madrid away, but say Man City also got Real Madrid, they get them at the Etihad. All the way, actually, that might not even be possible. I think you're not able to place 2 from the same in that. We'll find out as we go along.
We'll find out. This is
so much
all
to keep on top
new.
of,
I feel there's going to be all these little technicalities that we're made aware of as the draw progresses. It does seem as though, they're making some progress with the draw at the moment. Ronaldo's on stage.
Yeah, we've had the President's Award, and that went to Buffon. Are we getting to the actual draw?
I think
now they're doing the pots, aren't they?
I think they're starting the pot, so it's.
We're going to have to be quiet now so we can actually hear them explaining it.
I'm shutting up.
So, yeah, this is what we've just said. The top 8 and Real Madrid in pot 1.
Yeah.
Then it's the rest of the coefficients and the order they've been for European performance in the last few years, I think.
Yeah.
So yeah, computer choosing the games at random, the opponents at random, whether it's home or away. Now, what I need to actually see to get my head around this is, if you're in pot 4, are they only choosing your last 2 games then?
Yes.
That must be the only way it can work, because you already know who you're facing from 3, 2, and 1.
Yeah. So that's the advantage then of being in.
It's not an advantage though, is it? It's just you find your games out 20 minutes earlier.
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll see.
Yeah, so the teams from the same nationalities can't be done against each other.
I hope the software works, because I remember a couple of years ago, when we had to redo the Champions League draw because it all went to pot, and that was like the first time we'd had that in ever. So if this goes wrong,
pot as well. Excellent pun there, Theo.
Yeah, this needs to go well for us to all get our heads around it and make this a much easier process next year.
Yeah. For next year's one, we can do this explainer easily.
At least for the knockout stages. It's go back to type, doesn't it?
Yeah, it reverts to type, and that is normally where I do feel the case that I can see why they tried to revamp the format a bit, because the group stages have felt a little bit tired, and then it's where the knockout stages is normally when the Champions League sort of does come to life, isn't it?
Yeah.
But let's see whether this group stage format does actually, because there does seem to be many negatives and many things.
The fact that it's all computer chosen, like, rather than just being that completely random, I don't know, Patrice Evra or something like that pulling
Frank
out the
cards.
Yeah. It's a brand new age, isn't it?
It is, and I can't say I'm not confident whatsoever that the computers are going to do this properly either. Like, there's going to be some crazy gaffers, like Ronaldo and Ibrahimovic trying to get UEFA out of a hole on live telly.
Are you any of the wiser from that explainer?
No, there's so much description. Like, I can't. Like, they're still going through the technicalities. I can't believe it.
Just be glad that it is a computer, because the draw was supposed to take hours and hours if it was manual, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Oh, is this just watching the fancy little clips of all the sides, all the best bits?
Yeah.
So here's Vidi Jr. scoring for Real Madrid. It'd be so nice if they didn't win it this year.
Yeah.
It's getting boring, Real Madrid.
Yeah, that's the thing. Like, their dominance in it. Obviously, like, because I feel as well, like, last year it wasn't a case of them playing amazing either. It was just a case of they were just Real Madrid and the way through it. And I feel like, obviously they've added Mbappe to the team this season, which
best team in Europe, aren't they?
Yeah, they are the best team in Europe. But you do think like they have rode a lot of luck over the past few years, so maybe they will the luck will run out in one game this season. Someone will Real Madrid them this season, because...
Sorry, I just got distracted. They just showed Liverpool, and it was the Darwin Núñez worldie against Sparta last season.
Oh, yes.
We're seeing all the best goals from Europe. It's not quite the same, is it, when you see Real Madrid scoring in the Champions League final, and then Liverpool's Darwin Núñez scoring away at Sparta in a game they won like 10-2 on aggregate or whatever it was. Very much glad to be back in the Champions League with the big boys.
Absolutely. Oh yeah, my stream is worryingly is a few seconds behind yours. I've just saw the Núñez goal.
Mine's just finished showing the pot 1 teams. So.
Yeah, no, I'm on Leipzig.
Are you watching it on a TNT online live, or you're on YouTube?
Discovery Plus.
Discovery Plus.
Yeah.
I think mine might be Discovery Plus as well.
Yeah,
Which was another weird thing, wasn't it? TNT going from BT to TNT, and then you have to watch it on Discovery. No wonder Jurgen Klopp didn't like BT at the end of it. We heard all his grumbles.
Yeah, the number of confusing rebrands. I mean, don't do them the same year.
Right, this is it, isn't it? This
Yes.
is pot one. We're actually getting the teams. So we are going to know who Liverpool are facing, the 8 teams, very soon.
Yes.
And then we're going to be talking for the rest of the draw when we're not really bothered who Sparta Prague are playing. I think.
Also gonna, they must gonna have to stagger it. Like do 2 from each or something like that.
We'll just have to sit back. We know Liverpool playing.
Yeah.
We can talk about it and just keep an eye on it, see if anything interesting happens. But yeah, Buffon doing the manual one first, isn't he?
Do you know what? I've just pressed the live button and I've caught up to you.
Have you? That's good. Not just relying on me. Then. So Man City, the first team out.
Yep.
What's the computer saying?
So there's some loading going on behind them, which looks very, very high tech.
So it's Cristiano Ronaldo's job just to push the big button.
Yeah, it is. And it's Champions League footy themed. Oh.
Fair play. That isn't the easiest, is it? Man City have got Inter Milan at home, Paris Saint-Germain away, Club Brugge at home, Juventus away, Feyenoord at home, Sparta Prague away. No, Sporting Lisbon away, sorry.
Yep.
Sparta Prague at home, Slovan Bratislava away.
I mean, there's a few easier sides in there.
There's a couple easy, but
yeah,
PSG and Juventus away. That's tough.
Yeah, PSG away, Juve away. That's a difficult one.
Anyway,
Yeah, absolutely, yeah. Because I feel like Juventus were in pot 2 as well, so an away tie against that's probably one of the hardest,
one of the toughest
pot 2 ties. Oh yeah, so Liverpool are going to find us, yeah, like what you said.
I feel sorry for our cameraman editor Ian, because he's going to have to put all 8 up at once, isn't he? On the graphics watching on YouTube. Fastest finger first. So Inter Milan out next.
Yes.
And obviously they already know Man City away. So if Liverpool could go get a trip to the San Siro here.
Inter Milan
finals. RB Leipzig.
Oh, RB Leipzig at home, Man City away, Arsenal at home, Leverkusen away. Is that
Red Star Belgrade
at home.
Don't try and say that.
Yeah, Young Boys away, Monaco at home, and Sparta Prague away.
Good luck, Inter.
Yeah. I feel...
could be worse, could be better.
Obviously, Leverkusen away is a bit of a standout tie. That could be a difficult one. And then playing the 2 English sides, I think, is quite difficult.
What makes it hard around this as well is... In the past, this team's out of pot 1. You can write them off. You're not going to face them.
Yeah.
Now they can still keep coming back.
Yeah, I think that's the confusing part, and it's like when a team's like had their part of the draw, like they can still feature in later parts of the draw.
Bayern Munich now.
Find out Bayern Munich games now.
You don't want them away from home, do you?
No. I'd fancy Liverpool at Anfield against Bayern Munich, but yeah, as an away tie, that'd be
good
difficult.
memories away at Bayern in 2019.
Yeah. One of the greatest goals under Jurgen Klopp's tenure, the Sadio Mane one.
He's pushed the button. PSG at home, Barcelona away. So yeah, Liverpool aren't getting Bayern Munich.
Yeah. So Paris Saint-Germain at home, Barcelona away, Benfica at home, Shakhtar Donetsk away. Is that Dynamo Zagreb? Is that one?
Dynamo
Zagreb at home, Feyenoord away, Bratislava at home, and Villa away.
That means they can't get Feyenoord now, doesn't it? Because Feyenoord have come out twice.
Yes, that does. Yeah.
So no Arne Slot reunion.
No Arne Slot reunion. Yeah, that's correct. Oh, you're adapting to the new format, well, Theo.
I'm still just making up as I go along, mate. That's a great tie for Aston Villa.
Yeah.
That's what they want being in this competition, isn't it? Getting Bayern Munich coming to Villa Park.
First year back in the Champions League again, and Bayern Munich coming to Villa Park. That'd be a great game. The atmosphere would be unbelievable.
Just hope it falls like the week after they play Liverpool.
Yeah,
if that's possible.
Leipzig's games.
So you want Liverpool now. You want Liverpool away at Leipzig. It's probably the easiest team in pot 1.
Definitely. That's definitely the most attractive pot 1 game for Liverpool.
And they've already got the away game, so they won pot 1 team for Leipzig, and it's at home. So we want this to be Liverpool. Fingers crossed.
Yep.
It is. Liverpool got the easiest pot 1
at
home.
Oh, that's a great draw for Liverpool. That, yeah. So Liverpool playing away. Liverpool are away at Red Bull Leipzig.
No, away. Yeah, sorry. Yeah. I completely confused you there.
So I don't know why I reversed that, but it is. I went for it anyway.
You're right.
But, Red Bull Leipzig got Liverpool at home, Inter Milan away, Juventus at home, Atletico Madrid away, Sporting Lisbon at home, Celtic away, Aston Villa at home, and Sturm Graz away. Again, that's decent.
Well,
so Villa have got their 2 pot 1 ties now. Then, so they've got Bayern Munich away and Bayern Munich home and Leipzig away.
I'll take your word for it.
I think that's right. Dortmund, so not Liverpool.
You'd take that at Anfield, wouldn't you?
Yeah, absolutely. So I quite like the Ronaldo pressing the button aspect. It's a bit ITV game show.
Yeah, I was going to say, it feels very Saturday night television, doesn't it?
Yeah.
He looks a bit bored already, doesn't he?
He does. Look, the hand on the hip.
He forgot Dortmund, those 2 trips to Spain.
Yeah, so no Liverpool featured in Dortmund's fixtures. It is Barcelona at home, Real Madrid away, Shakhtar Donetsk at home, Club Brugge away, Celtic at home, Dynamo Zagreb away, Sturm Graz at home, and Bologna away.
One thing that has cleared up for me is I don't think you can play more than 2 teams from the same country, but you can from the same pot.
Yeah,
Yeah, so obviously Dortmund getting the 2 big Spanish giants in pot 1, that's tough for them.
Yeah, absolutely.
But realistically, they're always going to be like 9 to 24th, aren't they? They're going to probably be in the playoff knockouts rather than getting through as a top 8 side. So pot 1 sides left: Real Madrid, PSG, Liverpool, and Barcelona. I can't actually remember off the top of my head who's got left to play at home and away.
Oh, I have no idea. I've lost track of that. Lost track of that. So we're on Barcelona's games now. Bayern Munich.
They were already done, aren't they?
Oh yeah, they're already done. Yeah, yes, they're from the previous one. The computer seems to be working.
But I haven't seen much of Real Madrid yet. Does this mean that Liverpool are going to get Real Madrid at Anfield?
It could do, doesn't it? I've not seen much. Real Madrid haven't really figured much, have they? That looks like a very decent run for Barcelona. Bayern Munich at home, Dortmund away, Atalanta at home, Benfica away, Young Boys at home, Red Star Belgrade away, Brest at home, and Monaco away. Seems quite a nice.
Belgrade's a tough one.
Yeah.
They've got a very good home record. Liverpool found that one themselves a few years ago.
2-0 defeat, was it? Yeah.
But then PSG come out, so it's going to be PSG or Real Madrid at Anfield, isn't it?
Yeah.
Maybe.
It is Real Madrid. We'll find out. Yeah. That was already one, wasn't it? Dortmund at home. It's a repeat of last year's final.
Oh, very professional.
I could be on stage.
Yeah, Real Madrid at Anfield.
Yeah, Real Madrid at Anfield. There we go. Yeah, so Borussia Dortmund at home, Liverpool at Anfield, AC Milan at home, Atalanta away, Salzburg at home, Lille away, Stuttgart at home, and Brest away. So yeah, that is a very, very interesting tie. But I suppose it's at Anfield though, as we were saying earlier, it's like, you don't want to play Real Madrid because they are Real Madrid and Liverpool's records against them over recent years is...
It could be a good way to get that record out of the way, isn't it? Like, you could beat them, get it off your back, or you can lose and it's not catastrophic. You've still got another 7 games.
Yeah.
I would say power of Anfield and everything, but it was a 5-2 defeat last time when they were 2-0 up. Granted, that was a very different Liverpool in broken circumstances. They weren't having a good season.
Yeah, I remember going to that game and I was thinking, like, it didn't have the same vibe going to the ground and stuff like that. It didn't have that same sort of way you thought, the magic of Anfield's going to be able to conquer this side. Here we go. Here's
the one before that was 0-0, wasn't it? But that was all behind closed doors.
Yeah.
So at least this is Real Madrid at Anfield, proper Liverpool, proper Anfield.
Yeah.
We already know who they've got in pot 1. Real Madrid at home, RB Leipzig away.
Yeah.
If you're going to get a big team, you want them at home, as we've said.
Absolutely.
Leverkusen at home, so you get the Alonso reunion.
Oh, of course. Yeah.
AC Milan away, Lille at home, PSV Eindhoven away, Bologna at home, Girona away. That isn't the best. I'd say that's quite tricky. But
I think in terms of pot 1 ties, though, you've got Leipzig away. That's the best pot 1 tie could have been. And then, like I said, Real Madrid is at home, And
Leverkusen, you'd rather have them at home than away. Oh, they've taken the teams away.
Oh God,
we need our graphic back. We're going to have to go back to the Echo Live blog and hope that Keeper's already written it all down, or we're just going to have to. So Leverkusen at home. You'd rather have Leverkusen at home than away, but Leverkusen showed last year how good they are in Europe.
Yes,
well, every time they always seem to get that last minute goal.
And obviously, as we were talking before, subplots and storylines.
Alonso back.
The Xabi Alonso one now is obviously quite a big one.
I'll let you talk through PSG as I try and find our 8 games.
Here we go. Yeah, so PSG is Man City at home, Bayern Munich away, Atletico Madrid at home, Arsenal away, PSV at home, Salzburg away, Girona at home, Stuttgart away. That seems to me like a really tough set of fixtures. That so because they've got City, Bayern, Atletico, and Arsenal. That's a really tough draw.
And it's a new lookish PSG, isn't it? They're not going to be as strong as they have been in the past.
Yeah,
we say that they've not really been strong in the Champions League, have they?
They've always looked like the capable of Wilton in the Champions League. But that's some real tough fixtures.
So I've got the 8 fixtures now.
Okay.
Real Madrid at home, RB Leipzig away, Bayer Leverkusen at home, AC Milan away. That's probably one that's tougher on paper, the name of AC Milan, than it is in reality.
And we've seen Liverpool have gone there.
They've gone there. They played Inter Milan there and they won. They played AC Milan there and won.
Yeah.
Lille at home, that's quite nice. PSV Eindhoven away. Oh, that takes me back to the Rafa Benitez days. It was one of the sides that Liverpool always seemed to face. That's the reunion for Cody Gakpo.
Yeah.
It's the pot 4 teams I think that for me struck as them hard. Like Bologna did really well last year. Granted, Thiago Motta's gone to Juventus. They might not be as good this year.
Calafiore's gone to
Calafiori went to Arsenal, so they might not be as daunting as they would have been last year. And Girona, Man City's sister club. That's another narrative here, isn't it?
Of course, of course.
They were the ones who had, was it Savinho, who's just gone to Man City.
You're right.
So they could be a lot weaker than they were last year. But if you're doing it off what they're doing coming into the tournament, they're 2 tough pot 4 sides. But Liverpool at Anfield, they should do it.
Yeah, I do think there is the pot 1 side. Obviously, we probably got the most difficult one, but we also got the easiest one. The pot 2, I think Leverkusen probably one of the more difficult ones. Yeah. But I do really fancy Liverpool at AC Milan, and then pot 3 and 4. I think Liverpool have got to be backing themselves in those games. Yeah, Bologna you would expect wouldn't travel as well either. So the fact that Liverpool are playing them at Anfield.
What you would say as well is UEFA will be rubbing their hands with glee here. This is what they wanted, isn't it? Real Madrid have won the Champions League, the European Cup more than anyone else. Then it's AC Milan. Then it's Liverpool. Liverpool played AC Milan in 2 finals. They played Real Madrid in 3 finals.
Yeah.
You've got these games in the group stages.
Prestige ties early on in the
big
tournament.
European names. Liverpool are against both. They go into the San Siro. They've got Real Madrid coming to Anfield. These glamorous stadiums as well.
Yeah.
This is why UEFA have done it. Whether it's a good idea, we'll see after the results, won't we?
Is any of them standing out to you as like a nice European away trip? Which is any of those? Some good destinations, obviously.
I'm bored of Milan, but Milan San Siro is still glamorous. It's a nice stadium to go to. I suppose Leipzig, they didn't actually get to go to that, did they?
No.
Was that the one they did in Budapest? That was behind closed
doors. It was,
you're
right, yeah.
Did Liverpool get them again the next year or not?
I don't think that's taking place in front of a crowd. But I am happy to be corrected by anyone in the comments if you
join
want
us in the comments and say obviously Szoboszlai reunion there.
Oh, of course, yeah. It's the little subplot there.
He's the only Canate as well. Yeah, Canate as well. So there's a couple of Red Bull reunions there. Have we moved on to the next stage of the round now?
I've paused it on Liverpool's game, so I don't know.
Okay. So, how much do we care about these? Do we want to talk about the rest of the team's draws? I suppose Arsenal's will be interesting.
Yeah, Arsenal's will be interesting. Yeah, but we know Liverpool's fate.
Atletico Madrid have just come out. Nothing too glamorous there. Yeah, we'll just go back to talking about Liverpool. This is, isn't it? Like we do the Champions League format in previous years, and there's still something to talk about. There's something interesting on it. Whereas now, if you're in a pot 1 side, you
can tune out. It's now all about the analysis, isn't it?
Atletico Madrid were the first pot 2 team, so we haven't actually missed anyone there.
Yeah.
But even then, there's nothing riding on it. Like you get Bayer Leverkusen, Liverpool got Bayer Leverkusen, and that means something to you.
Yes.
But you don't care what they do in their other games because it's just what you do in your games.
Yeah.
You're not hoping they beat your third opponent, and that'll get you through as group winners or anything. Because
I suppose that will just be as the group stage develops, when you'll see the sort of the sides that you're competing with to get into those top 8 slots. Like then you'll be hoping, oh, I hope this team beats them. Then that's the only as it develops. Bit of a strange change to what we're used to. But even how are they going to stagger the highlight shows now? They always do. The highlight shows is always Group A fixtures first, Group B. What will they do now?
Just be like Match of the Day, won't they? They just put the best game on first. This is just strange now, isn't it?
It is. It's bizarre, yeah, because like obviously Liverpool's involvement in this draw is now finished. So
essentially, yeah, because the teams they've got already know they're facing them.
Yeah.
So it's just your pot 2 teams are facing the rest, aren't they? They already know who they've got in pot 1.
Yes.
And then, if you're the last team out in pot 2, you already know one of the teams you're facing.
Yeah. I suppose the excitement now, it comes from whether the computer is actually going to have calculated this correctly.
Yeah.
And just like Liverpool randomly comes up in Club Brugge's fixtures or something like that. That's the only way I can get interested.
And like you can't work out when the fixtures take place, because I don't think the dates are confirmed today. So it's not as though we can go, oh, you're going to play Real Madrid in between facing whoever in the Premier League. So all those ramifications come at the weekend.
Yeah.
I think.
I think you're correct, because normally it was as it was drawn, it was like, oh, that's going to be the team that you play. That like
that's the first game. That's the second. Or to an extent, anyway. Yeah.
Yeah, I think the as from I don't know. A perspective of travelling somewhere, I suppose, to Eindhoven, that seems like a nice one. I feel Eindhoven would be nice.
That's a reasonable draw, isn't it?
Yeah, and I feel like, when was the last time Liverpool played PSV? Was it going back to the Rafa days?
So 2009, maybe.
Yeah,
have a look on LFC history. Great site, by the way. Need to get on that. If
highly
you don't
recommended LFC history.
Does my work for me time and time again. Last official game. We're talking 2008, yeah. So 8-09 group stages.
Yeah.
If I remember right, Riera scored an absolute worldie in that game.
Oh, do you know what? That is knowing I back myself with remembering Liverpool games, but that one has slipped out my mind.
I think the home game against PSV, that might have been when Gerrard got his 100th goal.
Yes.
Robbie Keane might have scored.
This is some great trivia if it's all correct. It could be nonsense.
Yeah, it could be. I had to click on them. But could you imagine if I have to do this all 8 teams? So we're just going to go through this at a time. So Dirk Kuyt, Robbie Keane and Steven Gerrard at Anfield.
Oh, what a shout.
And then away from home, they were already through, I think, when it was away from home. It might have been the last one. Ryan Babel, Riera and Ngog. Yeah, because that is a very mismatched Liverpool team. I think that was when Martin Kelly, Jay Spearing, and Stephen Darby made the debuts or something like that.
Yeah, I reckon you're saying you think, but I reckon you know.
I know more than I say, yeah. But I don't think all 3 of them is. I think only 2 of them, but I can't say which of the 3.
Is it a couple of first-time ties? Has Liverpool ever played Girona before? That seems to me that would be
I'd imagine that'll be a new one.
Yeah, and has Liverpool ever faced Bologna?
That could be a new one as well.
Yeah.
You keep talking. I'll put it all into LFC history.
Yeah, I feel like
this is what we found. The major winners of the new Champions League format is LFC history.
Yeah, the spike in traffic that they've got right now.
We're all just, of course, we've got 8 teams to search rather than 3. Looking for all those links. Opposition sides. Right, who have I got to look up? Girona.
I don't think
it doesn't look like they face them. No.
And that is Girona's next to Barcelona, isn't it? Sort of geographically wise.
Yeah. So they've not faced Bologna either. Leverkusen, know they've faced them.
Yeah.
They've played them in a couple of friendlies. Most competitive game recently, or most recent competitive game. We're talking 2005. They played them.
Was that far ago?
I can confirm it was 2005. The last official one.
What score was that?
That was 3-1. So that was the Garcia brace.
Oh, of course, in the yellow kit.
Yes.
Yeah.
Friendlies, they've been more recent since then. There was one in 2012. Andy Carroll scored in that. I think Lucas Leiva scored in that as well.
Really?
I'm showing myself up if I got that right. Yeah. Raheem Sterling, Lucas Leiva, and Andy Carroll. So that's Leverkusen done. Right. Yeah. What team do you want me to put in next?
Lille.
I think they've played them. They played them in the Europa League.
Yeah. I have vague memories of being at that game.
Because Eden Hazard played in that, and he was amazing.
Yeah.
But they still got battered.
Yeah.
Liverpool won 3-0 at Anfield. They lost 1-0 in Lille.
Was that Jordan Braffer's last season?
Yeah, Rafa's last season. Yeah. Torres scored twice and Gerrard scored at Anfield for a 3-0 win. What's the next one?
Well, I think the other ones are more quite recent history. So Milan.
No, they've played them very recently. We know the history there. Champions League finals,
the remaining ones, Leipzig, which is...
Yeah, we can check whether the fans have actually ever seen that. Two competitive games, both in Budapest. So yeah, the fans have not seen Liverpool play Leipzig competitively.
Yeah, so a first-time visit to Leipzig for any...
There has been a friendly there. Oh, I remember the friendly now. Nunez's first season.
Yeah.
When he scored 4.
Oh, was that
there? That was there.
Oh, do you know what? I don't think I ever watched that game. Yeah.
I remember he took a penalty, didn't he? Yeah. It was a stink of a pen, but it still went in. Because it was like, it would have been a couple of weeks after the United game, wouldn't it? And everyone was on his back saying, oh, he's a flop already.
Yeah, there was loads of compilation clips from those Twitter banter accounts.
And then he just silenced it with 4 goals against RB Leipzig.
Set the tone for the chaos that was characterised Nunez for the next couple of years.
So yeah, is that we don't have to look up anyone else, do we?
No, well, the last one is Real Madrid, but I'd rather you not look at Liverpool's fixture history against Real Madrid.
We'll ignore that
for myself and the listeners' sake.
Another thing I'm missing from this new format, as I go back to the Discovery stream, is the fact that they don't have the constant reminder of who everyone's facing.
Yeah, it's
you have to just work out yourself.
It's very disposable. It's moving on. I just can't get over how ITV primetime Saturday night it is. It's just like
Cristiano Ronaldo has got the easiest job in this draw. Doesn't he?
I'm just waiting for Bradley Walsh to come out.
Do you reckon he knew this was all he'd have to do? Just push the button?
just push the Champions League ball button.
And let's be honest, is he actually doing it, or is it just for show?
Yeah.
Is there like a UEFA coordinator behind the scenes who's actually now doing everything, and they just
because that's a lot of responsibility to press that button if that went wrong.
At least he can't get it wrong. Pot two fixtures.
So I've paused it on that to see if there's any. Shall we go through Arsenal's?
So, we probably should have paid attention to Arsenal.
Well, we can call back to so Arsenal. I've got PSG at home, Inter Milan away, Shakhtar at home, Atalanta away, Dynamo Zagreb at home, Sporting Lisbon away. Is that Monaco? Who are MON?
MON? Yeah, that could be Monaco.
They're playing MON at home, and they've got Girona away in pot 4. So
it's all right for them, isn't it?
Yeah, I think that's all. Because probably the most difficult tie is Inter Milan away, and as we've Atalanta away is not an easy game either. So they're going to Italy twice. So that's
Italy twice. Sporting, they should have enough there. If you're going to have those games, those 4 they've got at home, you don't want away from home.
Yeah.
I know that's very Michael Owen, but you'd much rather have PSG at home than you would away. You'd much rather have Shakhtar at home than away.
Yeah.
Zagreb, those are 2 tough places to go, Donetsk and Zagreb. And Monaco, probably one of the tougher pot 4 sides. Again, you'd rather have them at home than away.
Yeah, and you don't get the advantage of going there is a tough game, but then they're not the best side of travelling. So you don't really get that with this new format. You don't get that level of advantage.
Who do we think's got the easiest draw out of the English team so far? City's was Inter Milan at home, PSG away, Bruges at home, Juventus away, Feyenoord at home, Sporting away, Sparta Prague at home, Bratislava away.
I think that's quite kind. The only
so we're saying City got the kind one. Liverpool tougher than City.
Yes, because we've got Real Madrid. I think that's
and Leverkusen.
Yeah, and Leverkusen.
The only blessing is that's at Anfield.
Yeah, City's toughest game is Juventus away. Is that correct?
It depends how you view PSG.
Yeah, but I do think PSG are a weird commodity this season. I think they will be very much.
Who have they even signed to replace them?
A transition side, because they've lost all those names that they brought in last season. Even the likes of I know he didn't end up being a big part of the team, but they sold Ugarte to Man United and stuff like that. It just seems quite like the wholesale changes that they've made.
Yeah, I'm looking at that. The transfers so far: a goalkeeper from Russia, João Neves from Benfica, Pacho from Frankfurt, who has been linked with Liverpool in the past, obviously, and Desire Doué from Rennes. When you think they've lost Mbappe, Navas, Simmons has gone on loan, Sanchez has gone. Well, it's not the biggest departures, but they're not what they were when they had Neymar, Messi, Mbappe.
Yeah,
Granted, the names didn't work for them, but
They had that glamour though, because they had those big names to them and it wasn't seen that you probably would go with a bit of fear going to PSG particularly. I think you think those stars could turn up and run the game. Whereas now, I think obviously the void that would be left with Mbappe going, they've not really signed anyone with that sort of presence to be able to fill that, and like they weren't capable of challenging in Champions League last season even with Mbappe. So
Juventus will be tougher this year.
Yeah,
like, I know they've not been great in Europe or in general in Serie A in recent years. That's what they had this season out of it, didn't they?
Yeah.
Like Liverpool last year. But they've signed well this summer. They've got in Cooper Miners, Nicolas Gonzalez from Fiorentina, Kefren Turam, Douglas Luiz, and with Motta in charge, do you think that makes them a bit more of a side?
Yeah, I think it's Juventus are always just one of them sides where you think they're not going to be bad for too long. Like they will always end
Come
up,
back, yeah.
they'll always bounce back and then be a sort of a European force. And I feel like some of those signings do seem like quite like smart signings, and you are backing them to eventually come good. But obviously you don't really Motta's first season there, so I feel like he will obviously he might have a little bit getting to grips of what it's like to sort of be the boss of such a big club.
PSV's games just come up though, and they're just some tough away games. But it caught my eye because Liverpool got PSV, but then Liverpool don't have to go to Red Star Belgrade because that's not how it works anymore.
You're not linked at all to any sides, are you? Like
No.
so you're like like you don't have to consider any other sides in the competition, which is it's quite a weird a new look, because normally you can't help but think like, oh, how's their draw going to affect Liverpool's, but it's not whatsoever.
Like, this is a very old school watch along, isn't it? In terms of you're watching us watch it, but we're not really analysing it.
Yeah,
It doesn't
we're
matter
far
Liverpool.
from experts in the matter.
It doesn't affect Liverpool anymore. Yeah, I'm not sure what to make of this format so far.
No, I mean,
There's pros and cons.
yeah, definitely, and I think, like I said, I think the Champions League was in desperate need of something. But like, I think, if they were going for complete excitement, it would be to hark back completely to the European Cup days of it just being a full knockout tournament. Like, but they were never going to do that, were they? Because it just.
You don't want your big teams to get knocked out.
Yeah.
You want them in it as long as possible, and you want them to play each other without knocking each other out, which is why they've done this.
Yeah.
We'll see if it works.
Yeah. Is it correct that like when you go to the knockout stages, did they seed them again? So then like the first and second seed then can't meet each other to the final. This is something I read before, which could be like sort of like what they do with Wimbledon.
I'd imagine it's going to be your top 8, you will be seeded, won't you?
Yeah.
And then 9 to 24 won't. So that would mean top 8 seeds would be away from home first, home second if it's like the old format. But then are you saying whether the seeded sides don't have to face each other until the very end?
So I think I don't know if they like sort of they'll go to 2 halves of the draw. So
that rings a bell, but I'm not sure where
so
from.
seeded 1. So the person the team who finishes top, they'd be in a separate side of the draw to the team who finishes second, so they can only meet in the final. I think. I read that before. I could be wrong.
You could be wrong. You could be right, though. It sounds like something they do.
Yeah,
they just want
like
Real Madrid, Barcelona as the Champions League final.
Absolutely, yeah.
That's what they want.
It's because
something like that.
They do what, like the way like Wimbledon was always, it was Federer versus Nadal. It was like they want.
You don't want them in the round of 16. You want them.
They want a football version of that. And I suppose like that's obviously always not great, because like it is sometimes good. I remember when when Real Madrid and Barcelona were at the 2 best sides in the world, and they met in that Champions League semi-final. It was a great game. So like it was a really interesting sort of the fact that they met and they played home and away was a good addition to the tournament. Whereas now it's like is that Celtics?
Celtic.
Yeah.
Celtic get to go to Villa Park. It sounds like Villa are going to have some tasty games.
Yeah.
But yeah, considering Celtic normally get battered in Europe, that was quite a nice 8 for them.
Yeah, because for Celtic, they could play Bratislava at home. They got a chance of that. Young Boys at home, that you could see them picking up points in that. Club Brugge at home. Were they their pot 2 sides? Which I think some quite decent. They could actually. Because where's the lowest you've got to get to be in the playoffs? Is it
24th?
24th? Like, surely you're thinking they could get enough points to get 24th.
Depends how many points you need.
Yeah, again, we don't know until it happens. We have no general assessment of what it takes to finish in the top 8 or what it takes.
Have we got any people watching along who've been doing this on Football Manager for years, so they have a better idea of how all this works? And even then, is the Football Manager format very much like how this has happened?
Yeah.
At least we know who Liverpool have got, and we can get our heads around that.
Yeah. And yeah, I think, like I said, I think Liverpool would be very disappointed. It would feel very disappointed if they didn't get in the top 8 with those fixtures. I know we said
you can say that,
some
but
difficult
then
ones.
You don't. We don't know who the others have got. I know we've been told, but it's too many games to get your head around, isn't it? Because you can face everyone. So Liverpool, you can look at those 8 and go, that's a nice set of 8 fixtures. But I can't tell you off the top of my head what the other 7, 8 seeds have got, so you don't know how tough theirs are in comparison. And then if a team in pot 2's actually got a really kind draw, or someone's got a really tough draw, and then you throw in the geography and who's at home, who's away, like you need to see all the fixtures written down to get your head around it. Right, these are my 8 favourites. These are who are going to go into the playoffs. And then anything can happen on the day. Like Liverpool can go 2-0 up against Real Madrid and lose 5-2 because they're having an awful season.
Alisson could pass the ball to a Real Madrid striker.
Yeah, right. Pot 4 now. We're nearly at an end. We'll find out Aston Villa's final 2 games.
Yeah.
That's another one. Let's have a look at when these fixtures actually fall with the Liverpool games. I know I won't know when the match days actually fall.
Yeah.
But we'll know when they could.
Yeah. Yeah, it's the first one, September 17th, I want to say.
17th to 19th. Then you've got match day 2 is October the 1st and 2nd. Match day 3 is October the 22nd and 23rd.
Yeah.
Match day 4 is November 5th and 6th. Match day 5 is November 26th and 27th. Match day 6 is December 10th and 11th. Match day 7, January 21st and 22nd. And match day 8 is all on January 29th.
Yeah.
Now that is a lot of dates. So if I went and got the Liverpool fixtures up and tried to work it all out, it'd be very confusing as well.
It was. So I think the first one comes after. I'm pretty sure Nottingham Forest at home is our September.
That's
15th.
because the West Ham game can't be that week, and it has to be the week
yes.
after. Yeah.
So I think that's a bit of a kind one. Sort of you hope that Liverpool have got enough over the line, sort of to beat them relatively comfortably, and then can sort of.
I did write something on this when Premier League fixtures came out, so I might just dig that up. Because I worked out when they all fell, but it was still a bit confusing.
Do you think TNT are looking at when they can place Liverpool's 12:30 kickoffs after the away ties?
Now that might be a new rule that I don't think they can. I think if you got. There's something in there stopping you being at 12:30 off the back of the year. I think.
I mean that's obviously long overdue, isn't it? Because that was Klopp's main complaint.
So the first Champions League game will be between Nottingham Forest and Bournemouth, and they're both at home.
Yeah.
So Real Madrid at home, then please.
That'd be a very kind place to play them, wouldn't it? Get the most difficult one out the way.
Number 2, you travel to Wolves. And then you travel to Crystal Palace. The nightmare run is match day 3 because you've got a home clash with Chelsea, and then you travel to Arsenal. So you don't want Real Madrid there. You don't want Bayer Leverkusen. Are we saying they're the top 2?
They're the two toughest ones. Yeah, Real Madrid at home and Leverkusen at home.
And then AC Milan.
Yeah,
because you have to travel.
Yeah,
like geographically, Liverpool have got quite nice ones to go to, haven't they?
Yeah,
like Spain's not too bad. Eindhoven, was it AC Milan? And was it Lille was the home one?
Yeah. So Liverpool's away ties: Leipzig, Milan, PSV, and Girona.
Yeah, that's 4 nice ones. You're not going anywhere too horrible there in terms of travel time.
Yeah, it's not like you like a Belgrade, for example, would have been a really tough one to throw in there.
It's like Kiev or something like that.
Yeah.
One of these places that's on the east side of Europe takes ages to get there. You get in the nicer ones.
Yeah, going into like the stadiums don't seem to. I don't think any of them will be like. Obviously, the atmospheres will be good in them, but I can't think of one where that's standing out to me. That would be like a really hostile atmosphere that the players might struggle in.
So yeah, you're looking. You don't want Real Madrid, Leverkusen, or AC Milan between those Chelsea and Arsenal games.
No.
There is match day 4. Is that one around Man City? No. Match day 4 is sandwiched between Brighton at home and Aston Villa. So that could be interesting, depending on who Villa have got then as well.
Yeah. Because they're both two quite high intensity sides as well, isn't it? So like I think there could be,
at least they're both at home for Liverpool.
Yeah, I mean that's quite nice because like it seems like the
Aston Villa have done well there.
Let's see.
Munich, Leipzig, Juventus, Club Brugge, Celtic, Young Boys, Bologna, Monaco.
Oh yeah, and you know what? The ties at Villa Park are great as well. Bayern Munich, Juve, and Celtic at Villa Park. They've done
They'll
great.
Be happy.
Yeah, they'll be thrilled with that.
They'll reckon they could sneak into the playoffs. I reckon.
Definitely, because those away ties. Well, the MOM was Monaco because Villa have got them away. Monaco away, Young Boys away, Bruges away. And we don't know what Leipzig are going to be like under the. It is Lindsay's, isn't it? Lindsay's, that's the one. Lindsay's.
Salzburg.
Yeah. Oh, well, Leipzig not under Pep Linders. Red Bull confusion.
That's the point. Who did Salzburg get? I've not even paid attention to theirs.
No, have they went? Yeah, because they would have put four sides surely. They have been. Let's see. Let's go on.
With Bobby Clark, Stefan Bajcetic, and Pep Linders, and Vita Matos, Andreas Kohlmeier.
Let's go on the trusty Echo blog to find Salzburg's. Kiefer McDonald has let us down because I can't find.
Here we go.
Him.
There you go. Ooh, PSG and Real Madrid. Atletico Madrid and Bayer Leverkusen.
Oh my God!
Dinamo Zagreb, Feyenoord, Brest, and Sparta Prague.
Yeah, that's is that the toughest one so far?
That might well be.
That's ridiculous.
Bobby Clark and Bajcetic are going to tear up against PSG and Real Madrid. Good luck, Pep Linders.
Wow, yeah, I feel like they might be going for the unless he pulls off the miracles that he's been a part of at Anfield over recent years. He manages to do that. Otherwise, I can see them finishing in that bottom eight and getting eliminated.
I've worked out another horrible run that Liverpool could have if they get a Real Madrid, Leverkusen, whatever. So match day 5, Man City at home, November 30th. Or is that right? And I think it goes around Southampton away as well. I think that's right. Yeah.
So obviously, Southampton away, like you back Liverpool to beat them, but just purely on the
so
travel,
you could do Southampton away, Real Madrid at home.
Yeah.
Man City at home.
Yeah. Yeah, and just facing Real Madrid in the same week as Man City at any point is obviously quite daunting, isn't it? Probably the two best teams in Europe.
Do you want to hear the easiest run they could get?
Yeah.
Go on. So the next one is start of December, match day 6. You've got Fulham at home on December 14th. So before that, say Lille at home.
Yeah.
If that's the home game.
Yeah, it is, yeah.
Everton at home as well. One for the video editor, the camera there. Could get a nice little run of Anfield treble header, throwing Everton. December. Sean Dyche should probably sacked by then, won't he? Given the way they've started.
Yeah,
this season.
I mean, well, there was the bounce back though. There's bounce back against Doncaster.
Yeah, big win for them now. What else have we got? January, you've got Brentford away and Ipswich at home, either side of, and then the last one is Bournemouth away.
Again, like you back Liverpool, but because it's
Ipswich at home, Champions League, Bournemouth away.
Yeah. I mean, there seems to be like a few kind home games before some of them fixtures, which is obviously quite nice, and so surely will put Liverpool in good stead to be able to be at the best for those Champions League games. But then there is City at home, particularly on the week of Champions League, is a bit. But they'll also have the Champions League. Hopefully they've got their Juventus away is before they come to Anfield, and then the shoes on the other foot. Then isn't it where they're going? Oh, that could be a nightmare of a week for us.
One you got to keep an eye on, isn't it?
Yeah.
Like, when do you want these games? Like, obviously you don't want Real Madrid as your last one.
No,
but you probably don't want them as your first one either, do you?
Yeah, it's more like when you get used to the swinger things, I suppose,
and knowing
like. So I feel like Real Madrid as your last one could be quite good because you know exactly where.
If you're already through.
Yeah, if you're through, it does not maybe.
But if you're not.
If Liverpool are in 5th place there's no chance of them falling out of them top 8 positions, and you're like, oh, well, Real Madrid, then there's less pressure on that game. So I suppose that would be, you'd probably want your easier games earlier on to sort of accumulate the points, run up some steam to then sort of be in a position then where you can say there's no pressure. You're not chasing those spots that are going to get you through to the knockout stages. I think that'll be my sort of thought process. What I hope happens. But
one thing you can be a bit more relieved about as well, I suppose, is the fact that they have started well under Arne Slot.
Yeah.
Like if they hadn't got back-to-back wins, drop points to United, don't play well, and you're pining for Jurgen Klopp a little bit, and then Leverkusen come to town, and if they school you and Alonso's doing well, like thankfully what we've seen so far is it's a really good Liverpool side.
Yeah, really well coached.
They look well coached. He's hit the ground running.
Yeah.
They play good stuff. Like it's not perfect, but you're not looking back, are you? You're looking forward. So it's not going to be a case of Bayer Leverkusen coming in. If they do really well, you're going, that's what we could have won.
Yeah, that would be nightmare scenario, wouldn't it? Yeah, like Liverpool is subjected to a tactical masterclass for getting done by the overlapping fullbacks when Alonso comes to Anfield, and then you're like, oh yeah, like I say, that's what we could have had. I don't think that's going to be the case because obviously Liverpool have started and have looked like Slot looks he's really authoritative, I think, and how he's managed to implement. Obviously, Jurgen Klopp style play was still, very, very exciting, very, not as possession focused as Slot, but Liverpool did often have the majority of the ball under Klopp as well. But I think that he's implemented those little tweaks so immediately, sort of, it does put him in good stead, and you're thinking he's probably going to be a good manager for Europe as well. Because is it right? He done well with finals in
He got
Europe.
to the Conference League final, lost to Roma, but that was against Mourinho, so no harm doing
that.
Yeah. It's a good test for him in terms of he's going against Ancelotti as well.
Yeah.
He's going to test himself to the best European manager of our lifetimes, I'd say.
Yeah.
You could probably go further back than that, but he is an incredible manager who Jurgen Klopp couldn't get the better of. Beat him Napoli, beat him Everton, but every time it was Real Madrid or whatever. Napoli in the Champions League sometimes didn't go their way either. Ancelotti is just an incredible manager. So to go toe-to-toe with him, it could be a great way for Liverpool to prove a point, for Slot to show what he's all about, if he can tactically outclass them. Because Ancelotti, of course, said after the final, wasn't it, Liverpool were predictable.
Yeah,
in Paris.
He did.
We knew what they were going to do. We knew how to stop them.
Yeah.
Liverpool, they're not quite as gung-ho now, are they? They're a bit more patient.
No, and you can say there's definitely new patterns of play that he's already implementing to the side. So, the fact that, it'll be interesting to see what if Ancelotti, what Ancelotti does to sort of contend with that when they do come up against one another. Is that... Have we done all the teams now? Is the draw finished?
The draw is finished. Yeah, it's just is there anything interesting left? AC Milan's always an interesting one, isn't it?
Yeah.
Liverpool hadn't actually gone to the San Siro for so long, had they?
Yeah.
They'd had them in a couple of finals. There's a few interesting players in their team. They've just signed.
The one of them, the AC Milan, they're obviously a prestige, glamorous club, one of the biggest clubs in Europe, undoubtedly. But they fell off my radar a bit, where I don't really know. They
were out of Europe for a while until they played Liverpool.
I couldn't even tell you. I couldn't tell you who the manager is.
Finesca. I've got it on. That's not from the top of my head. I'm just trying to remember how to pronounce it correctly. The one, I think he was linked with Everton or something.
Oh yeah, there was he used to manage Porto. Was that guy?
Is he the one who was at Shakhtar?
Oh, Shakhtar. You're right.
AC Milan, Lille, Roma, Shakhtar, Braga. He was at Porto as well, but we're talking 2013-14.
Yeah, I wasn't delving that far, but I'd like to claim that as a win for myself, but I'm not going to. I'm going to be honest.
But yeah, AC Milan got some decent players, haven't they?
Yeah, because the last AC Milan that on my radar were the side that Liverpool played, and was quite an aging side. Where
it's very different now. The front three will be Morata down the middle. We've seen what he can do against Liverpool in Europe before. He was part of that Atletico team that knocked Liverpool out in 2020.
Yeah.
But on the wings, I think it'll be Rafa Leao.
Oh, of course, yeah. He's a threat. He's a really good player.
Pulisic, who's actually been really good for them since leaving Chelsea. And then they've still got Chukwueze, Villarreal.
Yep.
Do you remember he was one Liverpool linked with quite a bit, wasn't he?
Yeah. So they're a bit more of a threat than what it, because the changes they've made have revitalised AC Milan in terms of they do pose a bit more pace, a bit more of an attacking threat. Whereas last time they seemed a bit slow and plodding when Liverpool played them, and I just fancied us to beat them all day.
Last few years it was Giroud up front, Ibrahimovic up front. No, Origi reunion actually. Where's Origi gone? Has he just been bombed out the squad and he's still there but not actually there? If you know what I mean.
Yeah.
Because he was at Forest, wasn't he, on loan last year? I don't think his contract's been cancelled. I've not seen that he's gone anywhere.
I have not seen. It's just Divock will just have the most fantastic, oddest career.
So yeah, Origi is still at AC Milan, but he's just been bombed out. So he's training with the youth team, which is in the 3rd division.
Yeah.
So there's not going to be a reunion with Divock Origi, sadly. Like, surely he gets a move before 11 o'clock tomorrow.
Well, you'd think so, wouldn't you?
But it's a season in Serie C, can he?
Well, I don't know. He's just that's just the way his career's gone, hasn't it? Whereas he's got one of the best moments any football will ever have, but now he's just like I don't know, becoming a bit of a journeyman almost. And you're like, because there was times when Origi played and he looked great, wasn't he? And so since that he suffered that injury against the Funes Mori's challenge, wasn't he? And then since then he's just never been able to replicate that same form.
A couple of more recognisable names in that AC Milan team. They've still got Tomori at centre back. And Loftus-Cheek in midfield.
Oh, of course, yeah. So they've got Tomori and Loftus-Cheek both from Chelsea as well as Pulisic, wasn't it? So yeah, so some Chelsea cast-offs, I suppose.
Doing well for him though.
Yeah. No, it's just like when Chelsea stack a lot of players, it does represent an opportunity for certain clubs to get decent players for good value.
I know it's already come through. I think that Tyler Morton isn't going to buy Leverkusen. I'm pretty sure that has been reported that it's fallen through. But if it hadn't, you're probably not letting them have him now anyway.
Oh, yeah. Competition.
You don't want to strengthen a rival in the Champions League quite as much. Who's Alonso got in his squad these days? You're getting a closer look at Hincapi, the centre-back that they've been with quite a lot. Whether that ever leads to a move, we'll see.
The Leverkusen were brilliant last season, obviously put together that unbelievable season, but without any stars that truly stood out to me.
Yes, Florian Wirtz is the star man, isn't he?
Yeah. So it'd be interesting to see what they're actually like, because it did seem to be like obviously the team was the main driving force, but like I did watch them a few times, but without really sort of knowing the intricacies and the details of how the team worked or with the star players. I knew it was like the fullbacks were quite.
I've just realised another narrative as well.
Go on.
Real Madrid. Trent's out of contract.
Oh, God.
Jude Bellingham is coming to Anfield.
Bellingham in his era full time.
Mbappe is coming to Anfield. Tchouameni is coming to Anfield. The number of plots just from that game. I am hoping that game is later on, because with like I said on the touchline, Slot going up against Ancelotti, Arnold, Bellingham, Mbappe, Tchouameni. Can you imagine if he's not signed a contract by then?
Yeah. It's just going to dominate the whole narrative.
If it's one of the last two, so say it's in January, he can sign a pre-contract agreement.
Oh, God. So he could be a Real Madrid player while playing against them.
Or he could play against them and hold talks with them and agree a contract with them in January.
Why are you doing this to me? Stuff like this?
Yeah.
Making me shudder.
Richard Hughes, get this contract sorted in the next 2 weeks.
Absolutely.
Before the Champions League gets underway.
It's obviously there's loads of very interesting ties. Is the one you got a particular? Well, we've obviously spoke about them. Is there anyone that you're most looking forward to? Now we've had a chat about them. Is there?
The game that's always going to be the one that thrills you the most but terrifies you the most is Real Madrid.
Yeah.
Like, you look at their 11, it is just a ridiculous amount of talent. So many world-class players. You go into the game expecting the worst, as we've seen so many times before, but you can't not be excited about it. This is why everyone loves the Champions League.
Yeah.
When you have these sorts of games, Real Madrid at Anfield is just so glamorous, isn't it?
Yeah.
Like the fact that we are be it a few weeks or a few months, going to see Bellingham at Anfield, Mbappe at Anfield, Tchouameni, Vinny Jr., Valverde. We've been linked with so many of these players. Another chance to see Modric, Rodrigo. Like I've said about Trent, but he's someone who's been linked with Liverpool quite a lot. And if he doesn't get the game time and he's available for transfer next summer and he doesn't get the game time, is he a possible Salah replacement if Salah goes into his contract? So much you can throw in at this. But you can never look past Real Madrid, and I'm just glad it's at Anfield.
Yeah,
it gives you hope, doesn't it?
Yeah, I do agree. I agree that obviously that is the prestige tie for all those reasons that you just mentioned. But I do think
we wouldn't be bothered about Leverkusen if Alonso wasn't there.
No. But because of the Alonso factor and because we've not played them for that long, Like, that's what I'm but it's mainly because of the Alonso fact. Because if Alonso wasn't managed them, you wouldn't be thinking, oh, Leverkusen are coming to Anfield and it's this prestige tie. But I think that's because that just feels a bit new to me. Whereas Real Madrid, Liverpool, I've seen it a few times over recent years. So I think like the newness of Leverkusen coming to Anfield, that's probably the one that I'm looking forward to most.
The thing is, all these recent games of Real Madrid, you always go into it going, this is the one we're going to settle the score.
Yeah.
This is the one we're going to put it right.
I've said that so many times.
Like, the fact that you can play them, you can beat them, and it's not going to knock either of them out. Maybe it is one where they can get it off the back.
It's not a final.
It's not a final. It's not a knockout game. You can get that victory, and you can still both go through. Liverpool can put through demons to bed. We'll see. Going back to Alonso coming back. I mentioned that Leverkusen friendly, the 2012 one. Sami Hyypiä was manager for Leverkusen.
Oh my God, yeah.
So Liverpool clearly can only play Leverkusen when
when alumni are playing for managing them.
I think when they had them in 2005, they would have had like Andre Voronin and Dimitar Berbatov and stuff like that. We're going back 20 years now. It's madness, isn't it? How many 20 years since Istanbul?
Yeah, crazy. Well, I feel like that's. Should we wrap up our watch along? Thanks for joining us. Thanks for talking us through that, Theo. I think we understand it now.
I feel better about doing the one next year now after that. I'm still not really sure quite how it works and if everything went to plan and who's got the best draw or whatever. I just know who Liverpool have got at some point in the next 4 or 5 months. Next time we do a watch along, it'll be hopefully the round of 16. I don't want to bring Liverpool in the knockout playoffs.
Oh yeah, I think
top 8, round of 16. We'll be doing it nice March time. You know what you get. Yeah, we'll back to the bread and butter of everything going for the Champions League. But it's a bit different, isn't it?
Absolutely. Well, thanks very much for joining us, Theo. Thanks for watching.